Tens of thousands fleeing for their lives, stalked by the rapid support forces that captured their city. In this investigation with Sudan War Monitor and Lighthouse reports, we can reveal that the thousands escaping Al-Fashir were targeted by the RSF, as the military's top brass secured their own safe passage, leaving civilians and their own troops to their death. Of the masses of people who fled the city so far, more than 60,000 are still unaccounted for, with many feared dead in the killing fields outside of Al-Fashir. The tens of thousands expected to flood this safe zone in Tawila are yet to arrive, with survivors detailing the horror of their escape.
Some are asked what their ethnicity is, and they leave them. Others say their ethnicity, and they kill them. They took all of our belongings as we left. My wife and I got to Gurney, and we were held with 400 families. They chose people and executed them in front of us. They kill them in front of you and say, bury your brother, and we just have to pour soil on them. They were killing based on ethnicity. They would come and ask us what our tribes are.
In an effort to find the missing, we traced crowds of civilians on their way out of Al-Fashir and found that many of them were captured by the RSF further afield. In this video, we see a group and two men. The first with a yellow hoodie and black jacket walking beside a dirt berm. As men, women, and children walk along, we see another wearing a red turban. In a later video, we see the same group and same two men. One in the same yellow hoodie as the previous footage of civilians leaving Al-Fashir, sat on the ground in front of RSF fighters in a crowd we are told had around 2,000 people, that includes the man in the red turban, who's also seen here. They began to run as RSF fighters chase and beat them. They've been separated from the women and children. Of this single group of 2,000 captives, we're told only 200 made it to the nearest displacement center in Tawila. Some sent videos to their families, asking for them to pay ransom.
I am one of the sons of Al-Fashir. I left to go to Tawila. I've been held along with other men who were only being released when their families sent money. Those who didn't were executed.
Others are executed on sight. These captured men plead that they have nothing left to steal, as the RSF hurl a racial slur and then shoot them both dead. In another video, we see bodies dumped in a trench. There is at least one woman among the corpses, as more are executed live on camera. This brutality comes after the RSF encircled, starved, and shelled Al-Fashir for over 18 months in their battle with the army for the last capital in Darfur under state control. Several high-level sources told us that top state commanders, officers, and political leaders secured their own safe passage out of the city in over 100 vehicles, some of them armored, leaving civilians and their own troops behind to be captured along with the garrison. A soldier who was left behind describes an abandoned command. He said the army commander had left the garrison. They completely abandoned us. We were surrounded 26-1 in the morning hours. Suddenly, everything collapsed on us in the defense. We asked what's going on and were told everyone fled. Then the shelling turned on us. A civilian who escaped that morning confirms the chaos. There was no coordination over withdrawal, he says, and it seemed to be a surprise to the remaining fighters on the front line. Some were leaving the city and others were fighting battles with the RSF. In response to our findings, the Sudanese Armed Forces Commander-in-Chief General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan told Sky News that the decision to withdraw was unanimous among the Armed Forces, Regular Forces, and the Joint Security Committee, and that battles broke out during the retreat. He added that soldiers were not left behind but were tasked with securing the withdrawal, performing their duty as required. As the remaining soldiers fled in their cars with civilians, RSF drones watched them from the sky. High-resolution satellite imagery captured by Vantor shows burnt vehicles grouped together south of the siege berm. The RSF drone finds it too. And this video we located to the same site shows dozens of bodies, some in fatigues and others in civilian clothes. We've turned them into dust, he says. Fighters celebrate in front of the burn site. A top RSF commander with direct knowledge of the operations told us that at least 7,000 people have been killed in Fashir in the first 5 days of capture by RSF fighters who are systematically targeting civilians from non-Arab tribes and are killing 300 to 400 people at a time. All overseen, he says, by RSF Deputy Commander Abdulrahim Dagalo, who we can see here, filmed in the city shortly after his forces seized it. Our previous reporting backed allegations that the UAE militarily supports the RSF, though the country officially denies it. The spokesman of the RSF's political administration, Aziz Al Nour, acknowledged atrocities had been committed by their fighters, but told Sky News the harrowing death toll shared by one of their commanders is total rubbish and part of a big fake media campaign, and that the RSF have delivered 50 trucks of humanitarian aid to Fashir. Videos shared on RSF channels show Fashir's emaciated residents receiving food, after months of volunteers and aid workers being killed by RSF fighters while trying to bring in relief. Fears are mounting that around 200,000 people are being held hostage in their own city, with no access to internet or phone signal, surrounded by fields turned into execution zones. In Tawila, the survivors wait for news of their loved ones. But these thin crowds are a dark reminder of all those who didn't survive and never arrived. Here in Darfur, the people are paying the highest price. The abandonment and viciousness of a war they never asked to be fought at their door. Yousra Elbagir, Sky News.